In this video, we're going to take a look at building a table, a parametric table. So similar to the cube, I'm going to go ahead and start a new family. I'm also going to do this one as furniture. All right, so this one's going to get a little more complicated. We're going to need more reference planes than what we had before. We are going to need reference planes to build the very top of the table, and then we're going to need reference planes for each one of the legs. So I'm going to start out here with 2, and then we're going to go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and put dimensions on these to remind us that this is for the tabletop. And I'll go ahead and assign parameters to that. All right, so we've got our tabletop there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in reference planes for the legs. So it's going to start to get a little bit messy here, but it's really important to be able to put in a reference plane for every item that you want to be able to control. So as we go through it here, just remember it's a lot of upfront work to build parametric families, but once you have them built, then you have a lot of flexibility in the project. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a reference plane right here. Okay, so that's going to be for the overhang from the table to the edge of the leg. And then that's going to be one side of the leg, and I'm going to put another one here for the other side of the leg. Okay, so that's going to be the width of the leg. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. And then I'm going to do the same thing across. Oops, straight. We'll fix that. And by fix, we'll delete and draw another one. Okay. All right, so now we're starting to get a little bit messy here, but you can start to see, okay, so right here, all the way around is going to be the depth of the overhang. And then you can see we're going to build a leg here, 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 and here. All right, so let's start to put some more parameters on here so we can start to build this, build in our controls here. So I'm going to go ahead and so first let's see the overhang. So I'm just going to add a dimension here and then here. Okay, so I want to get it for all 4 sides. And there. All right, so all these are varying dimensions right now, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and create a parameter. All right, so there's my tabletop overhang. And then I'm going to assign that to all of these. All right, so they're all going to have the same, whoops, don't need to create a new one. I'm just going to apply that to all 4 of those. All right, so that means that if that dimension changes or moves, just make that, we'll just tidy these up and make all of these clean right now. But when I hit apply here, you can see that all of those adjust accordingly. All right, so now we have our tabletop handled. I'm going to go ahead and now add a dimension here. So this is going to control the legs. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and if I wanted these to be, right now I'm going to set it up so that the leg is always a square. But if you wanted to, you could set it up so that this is its own parameter and then this has a different parameter. But I'm going to go ahead and just do all of them as I'm going to call it leg. That works. And then I'm going to apply that parameter all those so we can see how that's tightening all of that up. And okay, so here's a good example. Here's an error that I just made. So you see here that I put the dimension to here instead of to here. So I'm going to delete that and put another dimension in here. I want to make sure that I'm going to the right item here. There we go. All right, so now we have these 4 table legs there, okay? All right, so now that we have that all set up, we can go ahead and actually build in our table. So just it looks pretty messy. It's a lot of upfront work again for the parametric families, but you do get a lot of benefit from it once you have all the flexibility built in. And once you build this too, you build this family and then you have it to be able to use, on all your projects moving forward. So let's go ahead and now that we've done all of our base work, let's go ahead and build in the forms themselves. So I'm just going to do 2 different extrusions. I'm going to do one for the tabletop and then I'm going to do one for all 4 of the legs. So I'm going to go ahead and use my pick lines. I want to make sure that again I'm locking every time that I apply a line here. I've got to lock it to the reference plane. All right, then I'm going to use my trim tool here. So I have one continuous path. Okay, I'll finish that. We'll worry about the height later. All right, so I have one there. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in the legs. All right, with this one, since it's a nice rectangle, I can actually just come in here. I just need to make sure again to lock each one. All right, I'm going to draw all 4 legs in the same extrusion. Where's the other one? There we go. Because they're all going to be the same height all the time. So I can draw them in the same extrusion. Just making sure that I'm locking each line. There we go. All right, so now I can test this, make sure it's working. If the leg changes size here, and I hit apply, those are adjusting accordingly. If I change the overhang, okay, that shifted those in, so that's working. And then let's check the depth. All right, so now, or then the width. Now with all these parameters, these legs should move accordingly. This overhang is going to stay the same distance as we adjust if everything's built correctly, which it looks like we're good here. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the height. All right, now that we've got all this set up, so it's similar to the cube, we're going to look at our Z now. So I'm going to go to the elevation. I'm going to create another reference plane. All right, for this one, I'm going to do 2. So I'm going to grab my tabletop here. I can tell those are the legs on the inset. I'll grab my tabletop. Oh, those are the legs. That's fine. That'll work too. You do the legs first. So I'll pull those up to the bottom of what's going to be my tabletop, and I'm going to lock it. And then I'll adjust the tabletop as well. And locking it to the extrusion here. So I'm gonna put in a parameter here. So I gotta make a new one here. Height. And then we can put in another one here for the tabletop. I guess this would actually be the depth, not the other one, but that's okay. So you assign another parameter here. This. And now I can double check and make sure those are working. Let's see if this goes to 3 feet. And maybe this is 4. So I can go ahead and hit OK. And looks like everything is working there. So now I have a tabletop here. I can assign materials to that as well. Clicking on that gray box, I'm going to hit new parameter. Tabletop material. And I'm going to select the legs. Go in here. So you could set these up so they're the same if you want all of them, if you want them to be the same material always, but you can also build in the flexibility to be able to edit it here. And if we wanted to add another element to it, we could add in a shelf, and we'll take a look at that in the next video.